Hey guys, J-Man here for a movie review, Legion of Superheroes. Okay, before I get into the review, I wanted to just quickly give you a super brief history with me and the Legion. I know nothing about the Legion, zero. Legion of Superheroes was something I never got into. What can I tell you? I love DC. Superman is my favorite character, not just comic book character or superhero, my favorite character of any kind. And I knew about the Legion, of course, Brainiac and Mon-El and all that. And I watched Supergirl, the TV series. Yes, I watched the Supergirl TV series, and Mon-El was in that, and Legion was in that. So I know about the Legion, Cosmic Boy, and all that, but I never read any of the comics. A good friend of the channel, a good friend of mine, Clobberin Times, the link to his channel is in the description of this video. He's a big-time Legion fan. So Sean and I got together and we thought, why don't we do some streams about the Legion and well, let's say the beginning of this year, maybe late last year, I started reading Legion comics, and I was just going back. I just kind of started with Superboy. So I love Superboy, right? When I say Superman, I mean anything like Superman, Superboy, like Clark Kent, Superboy. Con-El is okay, Connor's okay, and like Jonathan Kent, was okay, but yeah. So anyway, I started to really get into it. I was like, wow, this is really awesome. Great characters. It's great sci-fi stories. I love Superboy being part of it. I think it's just so cool. So then I was talking with Sean and Clobberin Times. I was like, guys, why don't we do a Monday live stream, and we start from the beginning, the first appearance of the Legion, and go forward. So we've been doing that. We just started it. We're on episode 3, which is covering the 4th and 5th appearance of the Legion of Superheroes. Now I've read a bunch past that because I was reading it just on my own. I haven't been reviewing them because they're older comics, and generally, older comics people I don't think care as much, or maybe they do. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you want me to review old comics. I might even start a Superboy stream where I'll just, we can talk through some of the comics with Superboy. But so this had just come out in time when I was just getting into the Legion. So I've read a bunch of Legion stories. I don't know how many. If you need a number, let's say I've read 30 issues or something, because I don't know I haven't kept track, because it's like they're in adventure comics, then they're in Superboy, then they're in action, then it was Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes for a while. So I missed a whole bunch of that. I started with Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. So that was 197, 198, 199. And then I read some in between that. So let's say I read, I don't know, maybe 20 something of those issues, and then I've gone back and now I'm reading the earlier appearances. So between 20 to 30 issues. So I don't know much about the Legion. But I do know there's some characters that I really like. Cosmic Boy, for one, is one that I really like. I like Mon-El because I liked him in the show anyways, in Supergirl, and I like the Kryptonian characters. I like, the Superboy type characters. And Mon-El was like a big superhero. He's a great hero and all that, right? So it was great to see him on here. I was like, ooh, Mon-El's on here, and Brainiac and all that. So I'm going to review this using my SPACE method: story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 to 2. 2 is the best you can get in every category. I am not comparing this animated movie to a live action movie. Like, I'm not saying this versus Empire Strikes Back or something. My grading system works to grade things against themselves. So when this comes out and it's called Legion of Superheroes, this comes with a certain set of promises, and it says, look, we're making the Legion of Superheroes. It is Supergirl this time. Now she would go with the Legion sometimes, right? So that is not out of character. I know that there's the I've been reading pre-crisis Legion of Superheroes, not post-crisis. So I don't know if this is based on a post-crisis thing. Let me know in the comments if it is. Now, I know that mostly Superboy is associated, but there's no Superboy anymore in current continuity. Like, it's Con-El, so it's not Superman as a boy, right? Which is how they would advertise that comic, The Adventures of Superman when he was a boy. So it's not Clark, it's not young Clark. So the Superboy TV show, all that stuff, like, that's all done. The cartoons, that's done. It's just new continuity. He was Superman. So that's fine. So we understand that watching this movie. But anyways, this comes with a set of promises. They're like, look, it's going to be the Legion of Superheroes. We're giving you some action, adventure characters, all that's the science fiction stuff. So that's how I'm going to review this, okay? And unfortunately, that's gonna really play a huge part into my review here because I'm quite upset with this movie, like really badly. I'm not even a big Legion fan. I'm wondering what the Legion fans out there are thinking about this movie because it really annoyed me. And if it annoyed me, and I'm only 20 to 30 issues of a Legion fan, if you're a real Legion, let's say if you're a real Legion fan, hardcore, let's say, you must be really pissed. So warning, this review will contain heavy spoilers because I don't know any way to talk about this without spoiling it. But this movie committed one of the major sins, probably the number one sin that you can create in a comic book movie. And Eternals did this sin, which is you take the biggest hero that they got. So Eternals, Icarus was, from my memory, the hero. I don't know if they changed him later on, right? Maybe after Jack Kirby, stopped doing it or whatever, someone came in and revamped it and made Icarus a douchebag or whatever. Doesn't matter. This created a big sin. So for the storyline, I'm giving it a 0 for the story because this actually really pissed me right the hell off. So spoiler alert, they made Mon-El the villain. Mon-El is a bastard. He's a villain. He stabs Supergirl with a Kryptonian knife. It's like Mon-El is a superhero. He's the biggest hero they have. So of course, this is typical now. And I'm not one of these channels who's a rage channel who hates on everything. Watch all my other stuff. I'm very fair. I did not like Eternals, but I really liked Doctor Strange 2. And some people really hated Doctor Strange 2. I personally really liked Doctor Strange 2. I thought it was a hell of a lot of fun, really cool. I know there's the term woke being thrown around. I don't really feel that for that movie in the sense that, like, America Chavez, like, she needed Doctor Strange's help. Like, she didn't come in and just be the best. I know she wins in the end, but it's through Doctor Strange's help. So I don't think it's quite as crazy bad as people are saying. In fact, I liked it. But I hate Eternals. I hated Black Widow. I hated Black Panther 2, right? But again, I'm not a rage channel. I'm not just going to be upset at things just to be upset at. I don't care who plays the Little Mermaid, for example, because I don't care about the Little Mermaid. I don't care about, Charlie's Angels or whatever. So if they make that into a crappy movie, I don't care. Some people do care, and they have the right to be upset at these kind of movies that, ruin. She-Hulk, hated that show. I thought it was awful. But I kind of liked WandaVision. I thought it was all right. Everyone's like, oh, WandaVision. I liked it. I did not like She-Hulk at all. I thought that was the worst thing on television ever. So I'm not prone to rage videos, but I'm going to have to be a bit raged out on this one because you took Mon-El, who's the guy I was the most pumped up to see because, like, oh, Mon-El's in this. This will be really cool. I was so excited for him. And then there's this whole thing with, does Supergirl like Mon-El? Does she like Brainiac 5? That is part of the complexity of the characters and making things interesting. So their solution was, oh, we'll just make Mon-El an asshole and a villain, and that'll somehow make that kind of triangle go away. That is the laziest piece of crap writing of all time. Look, I'm not angry. Again, I only read 20 to 30 issues of Legion. So I they're not in my heart. Like, if they turned Supergirl into a killer, that would really piss me off. Supergirl's one of my favorites, right? There's my Supergirl. It's like, that would really piss me off. That did not happen. Supergirl was good in the movie. I'll get to the characters portion. But making Mon-El the villain when there is so many DC villains, there's so many Legion villains. How about the Fatal Five or any one of them? Like, did you really have to destroy this kind of love triangle thing just to make Mon-El a bad guy? And I don't want, I'm not a conspiracy theorist channel either, but did you really do this because he's a white male who's a hero and you had to turn him into a villain? Is that the actual reason? Because it happened with Icarus, and I thought in the theater, is that what they're doing? I'm like, no, are they that petty to ruin a character? Now, Icarus, like Eternals, the characters, they're not big for me. Jack Kirby's the best, but they're not close to my heart. Like, I like Icarus, he's cool, that's it, right? So it kind of was irritating. And it kind of came out of nowhere too. this movie came out of nowhere too, but Mon-El is actually, out of all of the Legion characters, Mon-El was really the only one that I kind of liked before I actually read Legion comics, because I knew about him from before. I loved the reverse Superman colors. I always thought that was kind of cool. So that really upset me. Plus, the story's pretty generic anyways. Supergirl goes to train with the Legion. It's like, okay, and then Brainiac 4 or 2 or whatever, the earlier Brainiacs, is sort of the Grand Master behind the evil scheme, and then he's got Mon-El on his team or whatever. So they picked Brainiac. Really? You couldn't have picked any other more interesting villain? I understand they try to tie it with Brainiac's story in this movie, so maybe it made sense for this movie as a beginner movie, but why did you put Mon-El in there? I'm literally giving the story 0. It really, about 40 minutes in, something happens, and I thought, is Mon-El going to be the villain here? I thought, oh my God. So guys, I don't know. Let me know in the comments, like, is it really because he was a white male who's a hero and then they have to make him a villain? I don't know, because everyone else seems to be good. So it's like, I don't know, right? Plus they made Timberwolf an idiot too. Like, he's supposed to be more badass, isn't he? Like, I feel like they just sucked all the coolness out of these characters. Like, what the hell happened? Like, I don't know. All right. For the pacing, I'm going to give the pacing a 1. It's an hour and 20 minutes, so it's not long. So I'm giving a pass on the pacing. It moves along pretty easily, so nothing really wrong there. Unfortunately, because of the way that the story altered and he became a villain, I lost interest very quickly. So then the movie started to be a little bit slow. I'm like, yeah, hurry up and just end this generic crap, right? So unfortunately, the pacing suffered, in my opinion. A person who doesn't care if Mon-El is a villain or not, that might make the pacing fine, right? But there is a big speech at the end with the evil Brainiac. I'm like, I don't like, what are you doing? That's the other thing with the story. Even if I didn't care if Mon-El was a villain, I would have given the story maybe a 0.5. Like, it's just like Brainiac wants to do something. What is he doing exactly? How does this work? They're like, oh, maybe we could save Kara's parents. Like, how? What? It's just gobbledygook. So whatever. Artistry, I'm going to give it a 1. It does look cool. I actually like Supergirl's costume. Brainiac looks pretty good. Mon-El actually looks pretty cool to me as well. Unfortunately, the other hero designs do not look that good to me. They change all their designs and they just don't look good. Like, Cosmic Boy looks crappy. Who else? Well, he's not even in it. They don't even have Saturn Girl and Cosmic Boy and Lightning Lad. Like, why? Why is this even? And then they're like, oh, they made them older. Yeah, but they're from the future, so they could be young. They could be kids when they meet. Like, I know that they're teens when they meet Superboy, but they can be teens when they meet anybody because they're traveling through time. So whatever. Plus, there's this wraparound story, which I guess is going to connect to other DC animated things. I don't care about that. Anyway, music was good. I like the music. The look of space and everything looks nice. They're using that animation or the design where it's like very heavy black outlines on faces, but then like the hair is just a yellow. Like, there's no black outline on Supergirl's hair. It's just a darker yellow or like a gold. I mean, it's okay. Like, I got used to it, so I'm still giving it a 1. Music was good. Some of the costume designs were nice, but I like the way Brainiac was using his powers. That was kind of neat. He's creating these like pinkish energy shield things. Pretty neat. It looked cool. For characters, I'm gonna give the characters I liked Brainiac. I did like Supergirl in it, but I kind of hated everyone else. I'll give it 0.5. Like, I can't give it a 1 out of 2 is a pass. I can't give it a pass because the Legion of Superheroes have some of the most amazing, diverse characters, and they have all these at their disposal, okay? And they keep saying, oh, we need diversity and all this other bullshit. Well, they have it with the Legion of Superheroes, but they don't even make good characters. Diversity is step 1. Step 2 is you have to write a character that's interesting. You can't just say, oh, and they race swapped a bunch of people. You can't just race swap them and be like, there, we race swapped them, there you go. Okay, you race swap them to have them do nothing? Like, what is the point of race swapping them if you're not going to portray them as cool characters. Like, I thought the point was is that, oh, we need a hero to look up to. If we're a minority group, we need a hero to look up to. Well, who's going to look up to any of these people? Like, that's the flaw of this. You can say, I don't like race swapping. Perfect. Don't do it because it's not the original character. Or you could say, I don't care about race swapping. Sure. That's not a debate that you're going to have with me because I'm not going to get into that. My opinion is that whatever the character was when they started, that's what it should be, period. I don't care. But people say, well, race swapping doesn't matter. Okay, sure. But you still made garbage characters. So what's the point? What is the point of changing the character's race if the character is not going to be someone that's cool? All the characters of this suck except for Brainiac and Supergirl. So what am I supposed to look up to? If I'm like a young black woman, am I supposed to look up to Dual Damsel or Triplicate Girl in this? It's like, she doesn't do anything and she's kind of irritating. So why would I look up to that? Like, it's just bad. So I'm giving the characters 0.5. Like, this is very lazy. This is shame on, I'm giving the enjoyment 0. So I'm giving this 2.5 out of 10. This is an absolute trash movie. DC, you should be ashamed of yourself for producing this because there's a lot of talent behind it and it could have been special. I was really looking forward to this. You guys dropped the ball big time. Maybe Mon-El is a supervillain in post-crisis. Fine. I don't know that. You can let me know in the comments if he is. I doubt he is because he appeared on Supergirl and he was a good guy. So, F this movie. Okay? Like, and again, I do not do rage videos. Watch anything else. I don't do rage videos. And I'm not even really raging out. I'm just hyper disappointed. And I believe that the DC team should be ashamed of this. This is not the Legion of Superheroes. This is the Legion of Garbage. I'm very upset because I was really looking forward to this. I was like, oh yeah, this looks cool. Legion's going to be awesome. I'm just getting into the Legion, and I bought the Legion of Superheroes Superboy cartoon, the animated one. Shit, that is 10 times better than this. Like 10 times, like not 10 times. It's 100 times better than this. That cartoon, again, it's not exactly the Legion, but at least it's Superboy, and they're all teens, and Timberwolf's a badass in that. Like, what happened? I don't know when that cartoon came out. It's one volume, it's one Blu-ray that gives you the whole, it's 2 seasons, I think it gives you the whole thing. I'm almost done, about like two-thirds done season 1. It's really enjoyable. It's not exactly the Legion. It's not what I've been reading exactly, but that's okay. It was made for a younger audience. That was made for a younger audience. Well, it turns out the younger audience got a better written, better characterized cartoon than we did as adults. They should be ashamed of themselves for this. This is really shameful. At least that Legion cartoon had heroics and had characters you could look up to. And if you picked any of the characters, you'd be like, yeah, he's a neat character. Like Bouncing Boy in this, he is a chubby character. So, he's the chubby representation. Okay, he's the chubby character and he was chubby in the comics. So perfect. They've adapted that perfectly. He blows up into a ball and bounces around. Yeah, but he was heroic in the comic. There's one issue that I read where he didn't have his powers and he still managed to outsmart the guys and stuff. Well, here he's a prankster. Is that supposed to be funny? Oh, Bouncing Boy does pranks. Ha ha ha, isn't he a goof? So are you saying that all chubby people are just silly goofs? They can't be heroic? They can't be smart? See, this is what happens when you play the representation game, but then you make garbage characters. It's like, okay, you've represented the chubby people. That's from the comics. Thank you. I used to weigh over 300 pounds. Thank you very much. I feel that I've been represented. And then I'm watching this like, well, Bouncing Boy sucks in this. So what, you represented me as an idiot? This is the problem. The characters have to come first. You race swap, gender, whatever, that has to be secondary thinking. Primary thinking is this a good character that anybody is going to look up to and be excited for? Are they going to buy Funko Pops or Marvel Legends toys? Are they going to buy Marvel Legends toys based on, or whatever the DC version is? Todd McFarlane, are you making all these characters? Nobody's going to buy them. Are you making little kid versions? Right? Like those Spin Master thingies or whatever they're called, the little guys. Are they going to make those? No, because no kid wants to watch this trash. What do you want me to tell you? All right, guys, that is my review. I'm sorry. If you like this movie, that's great. But I have a feeling that if you really liked it, you probably haven't read many Legion of Superheroes. I've only read 20 to 30. And that was enough for me to realize that this is a disgrace. If you've already bought this, sorry. If you didn't buy it yet, don't. If you're a Legion fan, don't. Okay? Do not get this. It's not even that great anyways. Like, even if you didn't give a crap about the Legion, it's a generic cartoon. There's very little stakes. Nothing's exciting. None of the characters are awesome. I like Supergirl. She's cool. That's it. Brainiac's like, okay. So, all right, guys, that's it. If you like the Legion of Superheroes, though, the real Legion of Superheroes, check us out on Monday nights. 3 out of 4 Mondays, we're doing Legion of Superheroes talk. Go back. We actually look at the issues. We're not just talking. We put the issues up on screen and go through them by panels, talk about what's going on, talk about the characterizations, all that good stuff. So check us out on that. If not, that's cool. See you on the next video. Until next time.